You know? You guys know what mosquitoes are, right? Yeah, the little annoying things. Yeah, there you go. That one. Can you stand up and do that again? No, okay. Years ago, there was a big giant that used to kill people, and he would take them back to his home and eat them.
Oh.
Wow. Anyway, he would go into a village and terrorize the village, take people, kill them, and eat them. And so one day, one of the men stood up and said, "You know what, man? I gotta do something. We gotta get rid of this giant." So he says, "What I'm gonna do is I'll go and I'll pretend I'm dead, and I'll have my arrows by me. And what I'll do is pretend I'm dead, and when he takes me to his house to eat me, I'll spring up, grab my arrow, shoot him." But one of the elders says, "You know what? We've tried that. We've already tried to shoot him already. We tried to get him in the heart. His heart's not there." And the young man was like, "How can you say that?" He goes, "We all have a heart. That's where it's at." He goes, "No." He goes, "He's not from this area. He's not from this land." He says, "All right." He goes, "Try to find out where his heart is at." Okay. So he goes and he lays in the, on the street, on the ground where he passes. So the giant comes along and he sees him laying there, and he goes and he kicks him. He goes, "Wow, he's still fresh. He just must have died. He must have had a heart attack." So he goes and he picks him up with one hand. And can you imagine? A human's like this. So he was holding him and taking him home. So he gets home and he tells his guy, "Hey, come here. I'm not going to eat you, but prepare this man. I'm going to eat him." Guy's, "Okay, all right. So finally the giant takes off. Guess he's going to go take a shower or something. And the guy is getting ready to cut him up to prepare him. So the guy springs up and points the arrow right at his chest. He says, "Where's your boss's heart?" The guy freaks out. He goes, "I'm not doing anything." He goes, he's forcing me to do things." He goes, "Where's his heart at?" He goes, "It's in his left heel." He goes, "In his left heel?" He goes, "Yeah. That's where it's at." It's all right. He goes, "When he comes back, I'm going to shoot him. Don't get in the way." All right. So he goes behind the door. The giant comes up, and he has the arrow ready to go. And he's pointing it. And the giant says, "Where is he? I thought you were going to prepare the man." The guy's just scared out of his wits. He goes, "Then fine, I'll eat you." So at that moment, he grabbed the arrow and shot him in the back of the heel. The giant screamed out loud, man, in pain, in agony. So the giant drops to his knees. And then the guy gets another arrow and just starts shooting away. Ran out of arrows. So he grabbed his knife, pulled it out from the back, and he just starts stabbing the giant in the back of the heel. So finally the giant's laying on the floor. He can't move anymore. And the brave finally said, "I'm going to cut him up so he can never come alive again." So as he's dragging this giant, taking him to that area, the giant says, "No matter what you do, because I'll come back for your blood." The guy's kind of like freaking out. He says, "Oh man." When he said that, "I'm going to cut him up so he can't come back." And as he's cutting him up, he's throwing it to the side. The giant's voice just kept ringing through. Keep ringing through. "I'm going to come back after your blood. I'm going to come back after your blood." So finally what he did is he built a fire. And he started making this fire, making it a big fire. And all these pieces he started throwing into the fire. Well, as the fire was going, all of a sudden the smoke started coming out. This black smoke started coming up, and they turned into mosquitoes. That's why we have mosquitoes to this day. Because they have. I got one more story that I wanted to tell you guys. It's kind of an interesting story. This story is about elderly people. A lot of people are very impatient. But for us, for me, myself, I think the elders are one of the coolest people around because they can tell you a lot of stories. They can tell you everything. They've already been there. They've already done that. So basically, with this story, it's more for the elders, the respect for the elders. One day, there was a young man that was out with other guys trying to hunt for the tribe. And in this tribe, this young guy was sitting thinking, what is he going to do? And what he was thinking is, they had a medicine man that they wanted to get rid of, because he was already like 90-something years old. They wanted to get rid of him. And the medicine man would answer all the questions, help with the sickness. They wanted to put somebody else new, start a new generation. And what he did, is like thinking, wow, you know, each time that we come up with something, he always answers it, and he's always correct. What can we do to get rid of him? We need to get rid of him. We need to get him out of there. And all the guys are sitting there, good question. So one day they went pheasant hunting. They're all sitting there, you know, just talking about it. And one guy says, I got an idea. What can we do is I'll catch a bird. The guy says, okay, big deal. He goes, but in this bird, I'm going to have it in my hand, and the feathers are going to stick out. So he's going to know what it is. He goes, yeah, but what's the point? He goes, what's going to happen is I'm going to ask him, grandfather, what's in my hand? He says, he's going to tell me it's a bird. He's going to see the feathers. Now my question to him is it alive or is it dead? So all the guys are like, hey, ho, you know, that's agreeing with him. So they're thinking, okay, good. If he answers it's alive, he'll squeeze it and drop it in front of his feet. But if he said it's dead, he'll let it go. So either way, it's foolproof. There's nothing that this old guy can tell him. He's going to be gone. So that night, they all made their food. They all did what they needed to do. They made their meals, talked what they needed to talk about. And after that, they said, okay, go talk to him. Go tell him. So all the guys are kind of nudging him to go. So he caught a bird. He's taking it in his hand. And he's taking it to the grandfather. And he yells out, Tukashla! He goes, we need to talk to you. So he comes out, really old gentleman, walking out with his cane, a little slow. Holds his cane, he says, what is it, my son? He says, Tukashla, he goes, I have something in my hand. What is it? He's kind of laughing about it, sneering, looks back at the guys. He's not gonna get it. The old guy looks at it and goes, son, it's a bird. Seen the feathers stick out? Okay. My question to you, is it alive or is it dead? And everybody kind of stayed quiet. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to say. So the old gentleman looked at him and turned away. Started walking back to his home. I said, hey, wait a minute. If you don't answer, you got to leave. So the old gentleman comes back with his cane, and he goes and he stares at the young man. He says, okay. He goes, what do you need to know? He goes, is it alive or is it dead? The old gentleman looks in his eyes, deep into his eyes, and he says, that is up to you. That is your decision. So in this story, you can't fool people. Sometimes we tend to think that we know what we know, but a lot of times these people understand what you're doing. So, I hope you guys, next time you see an elder, getting impatient, they're driving slow, or they're at the register trying to pay for something, instead of getting angry, help them out. Sometimes they need somebody to just have them carry it. And you'd be amazed on some of the things they will tell you. So, I'm going to take this for a few minutes. If you guys have any questions, a lot of people ask a lot of questions about Native American people. They ask us, what do you guys eat? Well, as you can see, my size, I eat McDonald's, Junior, Sizzlers, if I have the money. No. But anybody have any questions here that you want to ask? Don't be afraid. Ask away. Anybody?